I think it was a real mental barrier, and the hardest part was just getting started and having the belief in myself that I could do it, that people should give me money, that I could even raise money. I never thought I would be an entrepreneur, to be perfectly honest. I think I was raised in a very traditional way. I was supposed to go get a job and work 9 to 5 for the rest of my life and have a husband and a family and pop out kids. And honestly, there was, for most of my life, I'm not sure that I thought I could do it. I think it was really through being an executive at my first startup. Really, I was one of the first employees there, and we grew the company to 45 people, right? Where we went through the entire process. I looked at what the founders were doing, and I thought, this is really difficult, but I think I could also do it. And then when I was partner at a law firm, I had a lot of startup clients, right? And being an attorney is interesting because you kind of have this interesting perspective into their back end. Like everyone else sees, what they're putting out to the public. I see what's happening actually behind the scenes. And I thought, hey, if these people can do this, I think I can do this as well, right? But I think it was a real mental barrier. And the hardest part was just getting started and having the belief in myself that I could do it, that people should give me money, that I could even raise money. Those were the biggest initial hurdles. But I think once you get started, everything snowballs and it gets easier. One of the big challenges of starting a startup or being in a startup is finding that fine line between, being young and hungry and idealistic and ambitious and hungry, and really taking on a lot of risks, and being the idealist that sits there and doesn't really do anything, right? You have to actually be able to execute it. If you just have an idea, well, sorry, millions of people have ideas every day, but if you don't execute on it, it means actually nothing. At the same time, you also have to, be idealistic, but also be realistic, right? With what you can fundraise, what you can accomplish in a short amount of time. I often see a lot of entrepreneurs out there who are like trying to hype up what they do. They're always, bragging about what they do, but actually on the back end, they don't really even have anything. There's a lot of chest thumping in the space, right? Like lots of people trying to make loud noise. I think you have to be able to show confidence, but there is value also in being very authentic and real. And I think that makes people trust you, but still have confidence in you. So there's all these little fine lines that you really have to navigate around. I think a lot of people move to working in a startup, or they move to Silicon Valley or whatever, and they have this idea of, oh, this is gonna be awesome. We can go to work in our PJs or jeans, and there's gonna be free lunch and snacks every day, and it's gonna be super awesome. I think when you're actually working on one, yes, it's really fun because you're working with a lot of smart people, but you are actually also working really hard, and oftentimes way harder than you would work in a regular 9 to 5 job, right? And you are, constantly on your phone every day, at night, on the weekends. Like that's just the life of a startup entrepreneur. And everyone talks about wanting to find this balance. There is none. Like if you have a spouse, if you have a significant other, they will sit there and they will complain like, hey, you're always on your phone. How about me? And that's just the reality of the situation. So I think a lot of people are attracted to the glamour and the glitz and, oh, we're gonna get so much funding and we're gonna go have a boat party. But like, I would say that's like probably 1% of the experience. And if you're doing what you really actually need to be doing, like the other 99% is a real grind. So you have to actually believe in what you're doing and not just think, hey, this is a nice, quick, rich paycheck, right? Because raising funding is not easy either.